Hi friends, in mutual fund series, this is my first video. In this video, I am going to give a basic knowledge on mutual funds. This video covers 6 points. First one is why you should prefer mutual funds. Then mutual fund meaning, how a mutual fund works. Fourth one, what is net asset value. Fifth, returns on mutual fund investment. Sixth one, how to exit from a mutual fund scheme. Let us start with the first point. So the first one is why you should prefer mutual funds. There are 3 reasons for that. First reason is with a small amount you can buy large cap shares. Here large cap shares means big company shares like Tata Company, Reliance, Infosys. For example, you have 10,000 rupees with you and you want to invest this money in share market. You don't know about mutual fund concept. Directly through a stock exchange, you want to invest this 10,000 rupees. And somebody told you that Nestle company is doing well. How to know the current market price of one Nestle company share? Let us see on the computer screen. There is a website known as moneycontrol.com. In Google search bar, type moneycontrol.com. Click on this first file. You will be taken to this home page. Here you can see the search bar. Type the company's name, Nestle India. You will be taken to this page where you will be able to see the current market price of one share. On 28th April 2020 in BSE, one share market price is 17,668 rupees 45 NP, and in NSE on the same day price is 17,636 rupees. Thus, to purchase a one share of Nestle company, approximately you require 18,000 rupees. But how much money you have? Only 10,000 rupees. Can you invest in Nestle company? Hardly one share also you cannot purchase. Here mutual funds serve your purpose. With the help of mutual funds, with a small amounts also, you can invest in large companies. With 10,000 rupees also, you can purchase Nestle company shares. Second reason is helps in designing a diversified portfolio. While taking investment decision, always you have to keep one investment mantra in your mind. That is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. What is the meaning of that? Don't invest your entire money in the shares or debentures of one company. Why? Because if that company is not doing well, you have to lose your entire investment. Suppose you invested 50,000 rupees in equity shares of ABC Limited. So what mistake you did? You invested your entire money in only one company shares. If this company is underperforming, you stand to lose your entire investment now. Therefore, experts advise that with this investment amount, you have to design a portfolio. Portfolio means what? Instead of investing our money in one company shares, always you should prefer to invest in more than one company. For example, in this 50,000 rupees, you want to invest 20% in 2 companies. 35% of this 50,000 rupees, you want to invest in 3 companies. Then 15% of 50,000, you want to put in 4 companies. With 30% of 50,000 rupees, you want to purchase the securities of one company. Observe, in how many companies you invested your amount? In 10 companies. This is known as portfolio. investing in more than one company. and your portfolio should have one quality, that is diversity. Diversity means what? Different. Means what? These companies should belong to different sectors. Suppose these two companies are related with agriculture sector. These three companies are from IT sector. 4 companies belong to FMCG sector, fast moving consumer goods. And this one company belongs to real estate sector. So this is known as diversified portfolio. So how you are investing your money? In different companies which are from different sectors. Thus, while investing your money, you are following a diversified portfolio. And according to your estimation, in agriculture sector, risk will be less. When you are taking less risk, you cannot expect more returns, no? You know very well that returns will be less. But the returns are guaranteed. So you want some fixed income from your investment. That is why you have selected agriculture sector. Then this IT sector and the real estate sector. You know very well that risk is aggressive in these two sectors. So when you are taking more risk, you may get more returns or you may lose entire amount. How much you are investing in these two sectors? 35 plus 30, 65%. So 65% of 50,000. With that amount, you are ready to take risk. And you are expecting that from this sector, the risk will be moderate. Not too high, not too low. So a balanced risk you are going to take here. Therefore, your returns also will be moderate. So once you observe, your investment has 3 qualities in this portfolio. That is low risk, aggressive risk, moderate risk. Now, if you design your portfolio in this manner, it is called an ideal diversified portfolio. What is the advantage of diversified portfolio? Even though one company which belongs to a particular sector is not performing well, that loss you can compensate from the profits which you earn from the companies which belong to other sectors. Now the biggest question is how to prepare this diversified portfolio. Suppose you purchased a new car and you don't know how to drive. Then you have 2 options. First option is you have to learn the driving. Then second option is you have to hire a full-time driver. In first scenario, you have to take driving classes. You have to pass driving test. Then you can obtain a driving license. If you don't have that much of time, that much of patience, then you can opt for hiring a driver. Same is the case with designing an ideal diversified portfolio. If you want to drive the car by your own, you should have complete knowledge about driving, no? If you don't know the driving, first you have to learn. Similarly, while investing your money in public limited companies directly without any mediator's help, so you have to design your own diversified portfolio, no? For that, you should have investment skills. You should have complete knowledge about different sectors. You have to monitor the stock market constantly. You have to keep yourself updated with financial and investment news. You have to maintain your portfolio actively by purchasing and selling your stocks and bonds at the right time in order to maximize your profits. It requires lot of time, commitment, continuous research. Most of the investors do not have that much of time, that much of patience, that much of commitment. In that case, they have to depend on one mediator. That mediator is nothing but mutual funds. So remember, when investor wants to invest his money in companies, he has to follow one investment mantra, that is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So different company shares he should buy, and these companies should belong to different sectors. That is known as diversified portfolio. If he can design his own portfolio, if he possesses that much of knowledge, then directly he can buy the shares or debentures from public limited companies. In that case, he need not to depend on mutual funds. He need not to invest his money in mutual funds. Directly he can invest in public limited companies. But in the absence of these skills, he has to depend on one mediator known as mutual funds. So mutual funds act as an agent between investor and company. So in favor of investor, mutual funds design this portfolio. So the investors who cannot design their own portfolios, they depend on mutual funds. Instead of directly purchasing company stocks or bonds, they purchase mutual fund schemes which are offered by these mutual fund agencies. Thus, indirectly they invest in companies. Now come to the third reason why people need mutual funds. You can invest in a diversified portfolio with a small amounts. Take the same example. Suppose you have 50,000 rupees with you and you have complete knowledge about share market. You know very well that you have to design your portfolio in this manner. You are capable of that. In that case, directly from public limited companies, you can buy stocks and bonds because you have huge amount with you to go with diversified portfolio. Suppose not 50,000, you have only 5,000 rupees. With the 5,000 rupees, can you design this portfolio? Impossible. Sometimes even one share of one particular company also you cannot buy. So remember, directly if investor wants to purchase the stocks or bonds from companies, and while investing, if he wants to design diversified portfolio for his investment, he needs a huge amount for that. So with the small amounts, you cannot go with diversified portfolios. But with the help of mutual funds, even with the small amounts also, you can enter into diversified portfolio investments. Your 5,000 rupees, small amount, you can invest in 10 companies. So these three are the reasons behind purchasing the mutual funds instead of buying company shares or debentures. First point is completed. Now second point is meaning of mutual funds. See, this is the meaning of mutual fund. A mutual fund is an investment security that enables investors to pool their money and invest in professionally managed investment. Remember this sentence when I explain the third point, that is how a mutual fund works. Then slowly you will come to understand the meaning of these lines. So we will move to the next point. Third point, how a mutual fund works. See, there are some public limited companies like Reliance, Tata, Infosys. For their capital requirements, they issue stocks, stock means shares, bonds, debt instruments, debentures, corporate bonds, etc. And investor has to invest in these stocks and bonds. This is called direct purchase. Then when mutual fund requirement comes, see, investor wants to buy big company shares or debentures. For that he needs huge amounts, but he doesn't have that much of money. With a small amount he cannot buy companies shares or debentures. In this case, instead of purchasing public limited company shares or bonds, it is advisable to purchase mutual fund scheme units. Then second point is, investor while purchasing shares and bonds of public limited companies, he wants to design a diversified portfolio. Means he doesn't want to put his entire investment in one company securities. He wants to invest his money in more than one company. He doesn't know how to prepare one ideal diversified portfolio. In that case, instead of directly purchasing company shares and debentures, he has to depend on one professional who has complete knowledge about stock market. Then third point is, for diversified portfolio investment, huge amounts are required, but he doesn't possess that much of money. So with a small amount he wants to get the benefit of diversified portfolio investment. In this case also, instead of directly buying company shares or debentures, for him it is advisable to purchase mutual funds. Who issues these mutual fund schemes? AMC stands for Asset Management Company. AMC is one financial services company. They provide a wide range of mutual fund schemes for investors. It should register with SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. Let us see top 10 Indian AMCs on computer screen. Here is a list of top 10 Indian asset management companies. You can take a screenshot of this. Asset management company hires fund managers. Fund manager is also known as investment advisor. He has expertise and deep skills on the functioning of stocks and bonds market. Fund manager appoints analysts. These people are appointed to perform market research and to chart out best investment options. Now with the help of the information provided by these people, fund manager designs different mutual fund schemes, also known as regulated products. Each scheme contains one quality, that is diversified portfolio of investment. Means what? The money which is invested by the investor in this scheme will be invested in different stocks and bonds of companies which are from various sectors. Thus, the investor who cannot design his own diversified portfolio can depend on these professionals. Each scheme contains the securities of hundreds of companies from different sectors. Based on the requirements and needs of investors, fund managers create several mutual fund schemes. All these mutual fund schemes are broadly classified into three categories: equity funds, debt funds, hybrid funds. Suppose investor purchased one equity mutual fund scheme. Then the money which is given by investor to AMC will be invested in equity shares of different companies from different sectors. In case of debt funds, the money which is invested by investor is used to purchase debt instruments of public limited companies or government. AMC may use that money to purchase public limited company debentures, corporate bonds, government bonds, municipal bonds, are the bonds issued by private sector or public sector banks. In case of third type, hybrid fund, the amount of investor will be invested in both stocks and bonds. Thus, this is a mixture of first two methods. For example, while selling these funds to investor, AMC mentioned that the ratio of equity and debt is 70:30. It gives a meaning that in investor's amount, 70% will be used to purchase stocks and 30% will be used to buy debt instruments. Thus, AMC issues different mutual fund schemes according to the requirements of investors. Suppose a public limited company wants to sell its shares, debentures, then company issues IPO, initial public offer. In the same manner, when one AMC wants to sell mutual fund schemes to investors, AMC issues NFO, stands for new fund offer, along with one prospectus. By going through with that prospectus, investor will come to know about the details of these schemes. You know that every mutual fund scheme contains one quality, that is diversified portfolio. While taking the investment decision, while selecting the best mutual fund scheme, you want to know the portfolio of that scheme. So how to know the portfolios of different mutual fund schemes? Let us see this point on computer screen. In Google search bar, I am typing best mutual funds to invest in 2020. We will see ICICI Prudential mutual fund schemes. Click on this third site. It is loading. You can see this home page. Come to the end of this page. Under our products, you have different types of mutual funds, equity funds, debt funds, hybrid funds, etc. I want to know different equity fund schemes. So select equity funds option. You will be taken to this page where you can view different types of equity fund schemes. ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund, ICICI Prudential Indian Opportunities Fund, Multi Cap Fund, Value Discovery Fund, Long Term Equity Fund, Large and Mid Cap Fund, Mid Cap Fund, Small Cap Fund. Total 8 schemes are available. Suppose you want to see the diversified portfolio of ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund, then select that fund. Go to portfolio option. Right side you can see top 5 holdings. 9.21% of the fund amount is invested in HDFC Bank Limited, 7.5% in Infosys Limited, 5.98% in ICICI Bank, 5.7% in Bharati Limited, 5.17% in Reliance Industries Limited. If you want to see all holdings details, click on View All Holdings. This page will be opened. Here you can see the complete information about the portfolio of this scheme, all company names and the percentage of amount invested in that company. Go to previous page. If you come down, you can see sector allocation, means in which sector how much percentage of amount is invested. 21.27% is invested in banking sector, 11.65% in software sector, and so on. If you want to see complete information, click on View All Sector Allocation. This page will be opened. Here you can see all the sectors in which fund amount is invested, sector name and a percentage of amount invested in that sector. In the same manner, you can see remaining equity scheme details also. You can see different debt fund schemes also. Click on debt funds. These are the names of different debt fund schemes. Total 8 schemes are available. Let us see the details of ICICI Prudential Liquid Fund Scheme. Select portfolio. Like equity fund schemes, here also right side you can see top 5 holdings. If you want to see all holdings details, click on view all holdings. This page will be opened. Here you can see the complete information about the portfolio of this scheme, all company names and the percentage of amount invested in that company. In that manner, investor analyzed all the available mutual fund schemes which are offered by different AMCs. And finally, he has come to one decision, that is to purchase equity fund of one AMC known as ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company Limited. This company is offering 8 types of equity funds now. Investor wants to go with multi-cap fund. As this scheme comes under equity fund, this scheme is containing equity shares of 70 companies from different sectors. Then the question is how to invest. Let us see that point. There are several options to investors to purchase different mutual fund schemes which are offered by AMCs. First way is directly with the AMC. Here, investor who wants to purchase mutual fund schemes, directly he should visit AMC office. He has to complete KYC. He has to apply for mutual fund units. Then AMC opens an account with his name. AMC allots one folio number to him. Subsequently, for additional purchases, he can follow either offline method or online method. For the convenience of investors, some AMCs are sending their agents to investor houses. Now, these agents help while filling the form, while taking the check, and while distributing the acknowledgement to investors. Then second method is through IFAs. IFA stands for Independent Financial Advisor. Here, between investor and AMC, IFAs act as agents. Most of the AMCs take the services of IFAs while buying and selling the mutual funds, while maintaining the record of purchase and sale of mutual fund schemes. Similarly, while distributing the dividend to investors, while distributing the acknowledgements to investors. Examples for IFAs are CAMS and Carvey. The next one, through third-party online portals. There are some online portals like Grow, Paytm Money, MyWay, Kuvera, Zerodha Coin. They act as intermediaries between investors and AMCs. Generally, they don't charge anything from investor for their services. Then how they are able to maintain their portals, how they are able to pay salaries to customer care employees. When AMC launches any mutual fund scheme, then these portals have to give publicity about that scheme now. For that, AMC pays some advertisement charges to these portals. That is the main income for them. Then next method is through a bank. Suppose you have an account in one bank. It may be savings bank account or current account. Then through a bank you can buy mutual fund schemes which are offered by different AMCs. Here banks are acting as mediators between these two parties. Next, if you have a demat account or trading account through that account also you can buy mutual fund schemes. While investing, he has to pay amount now. So how to pay that amount? Let us see that point also. How to pay the amount while investing in a mutual fund scheme? Suppose one investor purchased 10,000 mutual fund units on 1st May 2020 from one AMC. And on that day, one mutual fund NAV is equal 30 rupees. Then how much money investor supposed to pay? 10,000 mutual fund units into 30 rupees each, 3 lakh rupees. Now to pay this amount to AMC, there are two methods. While purchasing the mutual fund units, investor has to choose any one of these two methods. The methods are paying full amount in lump sum or SIP method. Now let us see the first one. On 1st May 2020, investor has to pay 3 lakh rupees to AMC. No? Assume that at that time he has some huge amount with him, which is known as windfall gain. For example, he sold his property and he got some huge amount, or through a will he got some unexpected amount, or his FD or life insurance policy got matured. So he has some huge amount with him. Then total money 3 lakh rupees on that day only as a lump sum he paid to AMC. So this is the first method of paying the investment amount to AMC. Now come to the second method, SIP. SIP stands for Systematic Investment Plan. Take the same values here. So investor supposed to pay 3 lakh rupees to AMC. No? Assume he cannot pay that amount at a time. He wants to pay it on installment basis. In that case, investor has to opt for SIP option. Here what happens? Investor gives standing instructions to his banker. For example, he has given one instruction to banker that every month from my account, from my savings account, 1000 rupee is to be transferred to my mutual fund scheme. In this case, when that date comes, automatically 1000 will be debited from his account and it will be transferred to his mutual fund scheme account. So in this manner, every month from his salary he is saving 1000 rupees and that 1000 he is investing in mutual fund. And remember one point, based on the entry and exit into mutual fund schemes, mutual funds are divided into two types: open-end mutual funds, closed-end mutual funds. In present video only, at the end I will explain about these 2 points. Suppose investor purchased one open-end mutual fund. In that case, while paying the investment amount, he can choose either lump sum option or SIP option. But in case of closed-end mutual fund, he cannot avail SIP option. So total amount he has to pay to AMC while purchasing the mutual fund schemes. Assume for this mutual fund scheme, ICICI collected 1 crore rupees from 1000 investors. Now this 1 crore is known as pooled money. ICICI acts as custodian, trustee, sponsor for this 1 crore rupees. Don't think that total money will be invested in these 70 companies, because AMC is giving some services to investors. No, they are not at free of cost. Towards that services, from this 1 crore rupee, AMC keeps aside some amount which is known as expense ratio. Let us know some more points about this expense ratio. Let us see about expense ratio. See, When investor wants to take the help of a mediator, AMC, to invest his money in stocks and bonds which are issued by public limited companies, then investor has to pay some charges to AMC. These charges are known as expense ratio. So AMC collects that amount on annual basis. Generally, it ranges from 1% to 2%, and AMC is not authorized to fix this percentage. It is fixed by SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, and irrespective of the returns to investors, AMC charges expense ratio. Means what? Here investor purchased mutual fund units which are issued by AMC. Thus AMC is collecting funds from several investors. Now that pooled amount is invested by AMC in stocks and bonds of different limited companies. Now when they do business with that amount, when they earn some profit, then companies pay dividend or interest to AMC, and the AMC distributes that amount to investors in the form of returns. Suppose companies fail to pay dividend or interest to AMC. In the absence of returns from companies, AMC also cannot pay any returns to investors. Even though investors are not getting any returns from mutual funds, compulsory they have to pay expense ratio to AMC. Then expense ratio is calculated on day-to-day basis, and once in 6 months AMC sends reports to investors regarding expense ratio. And let us see the components of this expense ratio. This amount includes 3 different charges. One is fund management charges, known as FMC. AMC hires one fund manager. No? This fund manager has a complete knowledge about stock market. He knows very well when to invest, how much is to be invested, when to withdraw the money from stock market. For his intelligence, for his regular services, he charges some amount which is known as FMC. And administrative cost. Here AMC is maintaining investors mutual account. No? To maintain that fund, to maintain that account, AMC collects some amount from investor, which is known as administrative cost. Similarly, when investor purchases further mutual fund units, or when investor withdraws some mutual units from the fund, then AMC has to maintain a record of that, and AMC should regularly provide customer services to investors. For all this administrative work, AMC collects administrative charges from investors. Then distribution fees. See, AMCs regularly they launches new mutual fund schemes. Then for publicity they have to spend some amount. That advertisement expenses also they include in expense ratio. Means new funds related advertisement charges they collect from existing investors. So this is all about expense ratio. After deducting this expense ratio amount from pooled amount, from the remaining amount, fund manager keeps some amount aside to maintain cash position. What is cash position? For example, there is a multi-cap fund is coming under open-end scheme. In case of open-end scheme, no redemption period will be there. It is a perpetual scheme. It continues forever. So, whenever investor wants to quit from the mutual fund scheme, whenever he wants to exit from the scheme, Then he comes to the AMC and he demands for his investment amount. For that sake, AMC has to always keep some cash amount aside to meet these redemption requirements. Generally, 1% to 5% of the remaining amount will be kept aside to maintain cash position. Suppose fund manager is expecting that in future share prices may decrease. As market conditions are not favorable, more number of investors may demand for redemption. In that case, fund manager may increase this cash position percentage up to 10% also. Thus, from this 1 crore rupee, some amount will be kept aside for expense ratio and to maintain cash position. Then the remaining amount can be invested by the fund manager in the equity shares of these 70 companies. And don't think that fund manager has selected these 70 companies by his own. He has to follow the guidelines which are prescribed by SEBI. Which sectors can be included in this portfolio? Which companies can be included? In each company, what is the maximum percentage of investment? Related with all these points, SEBI guidelines he has to follow. That is why mutual funds are also known as regulated products. These are the products, these are the instruments which are regulated, which are controlled, which are monitored by SEBI. And remember one more point, if you are an ordinary investor and if you want to directly purchase limited company shares or bonds, then you will wait for the right time, no? When market condition is not favorable, you will not invest your money. But AMCs should not keep this pooled amount with them for a long period. Minimum 65% of the pooled amount should be invested in companies within a short period. Even though market conditions are not favorable, they have to invest in the companies. They are not authorized to keep the pooled amount with them for a long period. Here, this remaining amount they invested in these 70 company equity shares, no? The market price of all these shares is known as AUM, asset under management. That is the total value of this scheme. And as the security value fluctuates, AMU also fluctuates. Assume that Nestle is also one company of these 70 companies, and one investor, Ravi, wants to invest his 5,000 rupees in Nestle company. In ordinary manner, when investor wants to directly purchase Nestle company shares in share market, can he buy the shares? No. So with the small amounts, investors cannot buy large cap shares. That is a drawback in direct purchase, no? But observe here, instead of purchasing Nestle company shares with this 5,000 rupees, Ravi purchased multi-cap fund scheme. He invested this 5,000 in mutual funds. Now this 5,000 rupees invested by AMC in Nestle company, no? So finally his purpose is survive. He wants to invest his 5,000 rupees in Nestle company. With the help of mutual fund, his desire is fulfilled. Similarly, with a small amount, he is able to follow a diversified portfolio. That is the advantage of investing in mutual funds. And don't think that after designing a diversified portfolio, after investing this pooled amount in these 70 companies, fund manager's duty will be completed. He continuously monitors your investment amount. He strives hard to generate more returns from this scheme. Regularly, he observes how these companies are functioning. Based on rational thinking, daily he purchases and he sells these company securities. That a professional service of fund manager is an added advantage to investor. When AMC purchases these 70 companies' securities, then companies issue securities to AMC. No, AMC is not authorized to keep these securities with them. They have to submit these securities to a third party known as custodian. Who acts as custodian? Banks or SEBI approved organizations. Now you will able to understand the second point, that is the meaning of mutual fund. Recollect that a mutual fund is an investment security that enables investors to pool their money and invest in professionally managed investment. Just like shares, debentures and bonds, mutual funds also come under securities. AMC is collecting mutual fund scheme amounts from different investors. That pooled amount is professionally managed by AMC. Remember one more point, when investor purchases any public limited company shares or debentures, as a written proof, company issues one acknowledgement to investor. No? In case of shares, that acknowledgement is known as share document. In case of debentures, it is known as debenture document. In the same manner, when investor purchases mutual funds from AMC, as an acknowledgement, AMC issues mutual fund scheme units, also known as mutual fund scheme shares. Observe this one. A share document represents ownership in the company. Share document represents the interest on company properties. Similarly, one mutual fund scheme unit also represents a part of ownership in AMC. Only the difference is Nestle company is manufacturing products, but AMC is providing financial services to its customers. And one more point is, when investor is purchasing shares or debentures from company, he may buy those shares at a par or at a premium or at a discount. Nothing but he is buying those shares at issue price. Company may issue shares or debentures at a par value, at a premium or at a discount in primary market. Suppose one investor who is possessing shares wants to sell these shares to another investor through secondary market, stock exchange. Then the trade takes place at a market price. No? So remember, when investor directly purchases company shares or debentures, if it is primary market, he is supposed to purchase them at a issue price. In secondary market, shares are traded at market price. Similarly, when investor wants to purchase mutual fund units from AMC, the price at which investor is buying those units is known as NAV. NAV stands for net asset value. Let us know about NAV. That is our fourth point. Net asset value, NAV, means NAV represents the market value of one mutual fund scheme unit or a share on a particular day. Means investor has to buy or sell the mutual funds at a NAV. And observe, he is giving a particular day. Means NAV is calculated on daily basis. For calculating NAV, AMC appoints one accountant also. What is the formula to calculate NAV? NAV is equal total value of the securities in the portfolio minus liabilities divided by total number of mutual fund scheme units. Let us see one example to understand NAV. Amount collected 60 crore. There is one AMC. They launched one new mutual fund scheme. They invited investment from public and investors invested 60 crore rupees. Pooled amount is 60 crore. Cash position 5 crore. You know, this is a pooled amount. Total amount will not be invested in company securities, no? So to meet unexpected redemption liability, fund manager keeps some amount aside. So out of this 60 crore, fund manager wants to maintain a cash position with 5 crore rupees. 25 crore they invested in Reliance equity, means what? This scheme belongs to equity fund. 10 crore in Tata equity, 20 crore in Bajaj equity. So fund manager of that AMC prepared one portfolio. That portfolio contains 3 companies. 3 different company shares they are going to buy with this fund amount. Permitted expenses is 3%. You know, when AMC is providing services to investors, in return AMC collects charges from them. So that charges amount is 3% of this collected amount. Total number of units 3 crore. So AMC issued 3 crore mutual fund units to investors. Calculate NAV. So according to the formula, NAV is equal total value of securities in the portfolio. In this portfolio, there are 3 securities: Reliance company shares, Tata company shares, plus Bajaj company shares. Add these 3 amounts plus even cash position amount also you have to include here. Total becomes 60 crore. Minus, see the formula, liabilities. For any mutual fund scheme, there are 2 type of liabilities. One is the expenses which AMC is going to collect from investors. Second one is the redemption liability. There may be some unexpected demands for redemptions from investor side. So for that purpose, always company keeps some amount, no, 5 crore rupee, and while calculating NAV, if there is any redemption request, that amount we have to include in this liabilities. And in this question, there is no redemption request from any investor. So there is only one liability, that is expenditure. Expenditure is calculated on daily basis. That is why 3% of pooled amount we should divide with 365 days. Then finally 19 rupee 99 paisa, nothing but 20 rupee is the NAV of one mutual fund unit. Assume this NAV is calculated on 1st January 2019. So on that day, if Suman wants to purchase 500 units of this scheme, then how much money Suman supposed to pay? 500 units into NAV on that day, 20 rupee. 10,000 is Suman's investment. And as NAV is calculated on daily basis, on any particular day, investor can know the value of his holdings. Suppose on 15th November 2019, Suman wants to know the value of his 500 units. On that day, NAV is 33 rupees per unit. Then number of units of Suman into NAV of that day is equal 16,500 rupees. So on that day, Suman holdings value is 16,500. So with the help of NAV, we can know the value of our holdings on any particular date. If trading is done on a particular day before 3 p.m., then same day NAV we should consider to buy or to sell mutual fund units. Suppose trading is done after 3 p.m., then next day NAV we should consider for trading purpose. So this is all about NAV. Now move to next point. Now the 5th point is returns on mutual fund investment. Suppose investor purchased stocks of public limited company directly. Then on shares he gets dividend. If he purchases bonds of public limited companies, then he gets interest. There is a dividend income, interest income. They are known as returns in share market. Suppose instead of purchasing stocks and bonds of limited companies directly, investor purchased mutual fund scheme units which are issued by AMC. Then AMC invests that pooled amount in public limited company stocks or bonds. If investor purchases equity fund schemes, then that pooled amount will be invested in stocks. Then how the returns will be? As a risk is more, returns will be more. Suppose investor purchased debt fund scheme units, then AMC invests that money in bonds of limited companies, then the returns will be less because risk is less. Thus, the returns on mutual funds depends on the type of scheme, company's sector and company's performance. Thus, mutual fund returns fluctuate. Comparing to the returns in share market, returns in mutual funds are less. The reason is, in case of mutual funds, AMC is acting as an agent of investor, no? So investor has to pay some charges to AMC. This charges amount is an additional expenditure to investor. When AMC invests in public limited companies, companies pay dividend or interest to AMC. AMC distributes that to investors based on the number of units purchased by them. If investor purchases more number of units, he gets more returns and vice versa. Regarding returns on mutual funds, there are two schemes: dividend scheme, growth scheme. While filling the application form, investor has to choose any one of these two. If he doesn't fill that column, default scheme will be selected by AMC. In most of the cases, default scheme is growth scheme. And a dividend scheme contains two options: dividend payout, dividend reinvest. Investor has to select any one of these two options. Suppose he selected dividend payout option. In that case, AMC pays mutual fund returns to investors at regular periods. How they pay that amount? By crediting to their bank accounts. If investor wants secondary source of income, then he may select dividend payout option. Suppose he selected dividend reinvest option, then no dividend will be credited to his bank account. With that dividend amount, AMC purchases additional mutual fund scheme units on their names. Thus, the number of units of investors increases. As a result of that, his returns also increase. If investor selects growth scheme, then no dividend amount will be credited to his bank account. On his name, no additional units will be purchased by AMC. When mutual fund schemes are sold by AMC, the profit which is generated in that sale will be reinvested in mutual fund schemes. Thus, the NAV of a unit increases, as a result of which investor can get some capital gains. Suppose in 2018, one investor purchased 1000 mutual fund units of a particular scheme. At that time, NAV is 20 rupees per unit. Then he invested 20,000 rupees in AMC, and in 2020 he wants to redeem his units. In 2020, NAV of one unit is suppose 35 rupees. Then how much money he can take from AMC? 35,000. So here 15,000 is the capital gain to investor. So in this manner, investor gets returns on his mutual funds. Now come to next point. Last point of this video, That is sixth one, how to exit from a mutual fund scheme. Exit from a mutual fund scheme means what? Investor wants to withdraw his money from the scheme. Nothing but investor is demanding for redemption of his mutual fund units. Suppose investor purchased a particular mutual fund scheme units today, and before 1 year only he is demanding for redemption. Then he is supposed to pay some charges to AMC known as exit load. Exit load is one type of fine imposed by AMCs to discourage the investors from doing so. That is, to reduce the number of withdrawals by the investors from the mutual fund scheme. Some AMCs may charge even sales expenses also. So, when investor is buying mutual fund units, then he has to observe all these type of hidden charges. And finally he should decide whether to invest in that particular scheme or not. Now the question is, why an investor wants to exit from a mutual fund scheme? There may be numerous reasons. First reason is to meet his financial goal. Investor invested in mutual fund scheme to meet his financial goals. He may have long-term financial goals, short-term financial goals. Long-term financial goals. Suppose he wants to construct a house. He wants finance for child's education or their wedding. Short-term financial goals like buying a car, an appliance, or for foreign holiday trip. Once an investor gets close to realizing his financial goal, he may demand for redemption from mutual fund scheme. Second reason is when AMC failed to deliver what it promised. Third one, when scheme is not giving proper returns from a long period. Fourth reason may be to meet unforeseen expenses, for example medical emergency. So in all these cases, investor demands for redemption of his units. Let us see how to exit from a mutual fund scheme. Based on the redemption, mutual funds are of two types: open-ended mutual funds, closed-ended mutual funds. Open-ended mutual funds are just like savings bank accounts. Whenever you need money, you can go to bank and you can withdraw your money, no? In the same manner, in case of open-ended mutual funds, no maturity period will be there. They are perpetual in nature. Whenever investor needs money, he can redeem his units. Through which method he purchased those units, with the same methods he can withdraw. Suppose he purchased the units directly with the AMC. Then to redeem also he has to follow the same method. When investor purchases mutual fund schemes, AMC issues one account statement. So redemption slip is attached to that account statement. By filling that redemption slip, by giving the basic information like his folio number, mutual fund scheme details, number of units which he wants to redeem, bank details in which amount has to be credited. So by giving this required information, he has to fill that redemption form. He should visit nearest AMC office and he can submit that form. Through online also he can do the same. Second way is, suppose he purchased those schemes from IFAS. Then he should visit CAMS website or Carway website. He can download redemption form. He can take a hard copy of that. He should fill required information. He should submit that form to nearest IFA office. If he purchased those units from third party online portals like Paytm Money, Grow, Kuvera, Zerodha, then from the same app he can redeem. He has to select redemption option. By giving required information, he can redeem his units. If investor purchased those units from bank where he is maintaining an account, by submitting the redemption form to that bank, he can redeem his shares. Suppose he purchased those shares through Demat account or trading account. Through the same accounts, he can redeem. Now come to second one, closed-ended mutual funds. Open-ended mutual funds are compared with the savings bank account. No? In the same manner, these funds can be compared with fixed deposit accounts. So there will be some maturity period. For example, 3 years. For 3 years, investor purchased one closed-ended mutual fund scheme. When 3 years completes, then only AMC returns that mutual fund unit amount to investor. Pre-redemption is not allowed. When period completes on maturity date at a prevailing NAV, AMC redeems his units. Suppose he wants to get back his money before 3 years only. There is one option. Just like shares, closed-ended mutual funds are also listed with stock exchange. Through a stock exchange, investor can sell his units to other party. But selling mutual fund units through stock exchange is not a popular method. It is very difficult to find interested buyers. And even though you are able to find him, generally they ask for discount. Means investor has to sell his units for a price which is lower than NAV. So it is a loss to him. With this, total 6 points are completed. Hope you got a broad idea about mutual fund concept. Thank you.